No.
Well, you've asked how White Stag has helped me and how I got involved in it. And Dave Stein came back from a White Stag Phase 3 candidate in 1973 and was very excited. And we all just were interested and wanted to do it. So those of us who were of age and wanted to got an opportunity to go down to Pico Blanco and participate. And it was a great experience, very challenging, sometimes frustrating, but with support that we knew what was going on was for a purpose that would help us grow. And we learned how to solve problems without letting them overwhelm us, and use that skill to direct a group. And in our case, Phase 3, we were directing a large group of scouts, up to 24, 28 kids. So you've asked what I'd like to tell you about White Stag. And for me, White Stag was a life-changing experience. I learned how to be confronted with a problem and go about solving it. And if my first thought on how to solve the problem wasn't working out, instead of panicking, I would look at what wasn't working and change it and try something different. And sometimes it takes multiple tries, but usually always get there. Don't have to walk away from a problem and say, let somebody else do it, or it doesn't get solved. And the greatest thing about Phase 3 is that you get to learn how to do this with a large group of scouts, what it was when I was in. And you could make a large group, up to 28 people, function well. And it all came from skills learned in White Stag experience. But the key was the experience. We got out and did it. We got to practice. And we got to just exercise that ability to rethink something until we found something that would work.
Go.
So you've asked how we've progressed since the beginning of the program in developing our youth staff up till now, where we're actually in camp putting on this program. And we started with a youth staff that had been in the White Stag program, but had not had an opportunity to use what they'd learned. So since January, we have been reviewing what they learned and giving them plenty of opportunities and experience to use. And we started out with these individuals who really hadn't had anywhere to put these skills, and gave them somewhere to put them. And even though it was a slow process, and at times slower than we wanted, and made us a little nervous at times about this event, but with enough experience and enough time actually doing the exercises and being outdoors and camping, they got really good at it. And we're in the process of putting on what is shaping up to be a very good program that these young people will go back and be able to put to use when they go to their home groups, whether it be scouting or a youth group. So I'm looking forward to the Indaba and see what happens. We all get together in October and get to find out what these people came away with.
Go.
So you've asked how the White Stag program may be different from other programs that have more classroom-oriented programs. And the best thing I can do is share an analogy with myself and schooling. And I was a terrible arithmetic student, never got better than a C. Never got worse than a D. I always made an effort. But it just never made sense. I could never make it work. And then I went to work as a sheet metal worker. And I got to work with trigonometry and geometry, and it all made sense. And very quickly, I did not have to really spend a lot of time working at it because I had an opportunity to put it somewhere. And I believe White Stag does the same thing. It gives you the tools, but then it turns around and makes you use them immediately after you've learned what the tools are. And you get to practice them, and you get to find out what works and what doesn't in different situations and with different groups. And when you go back home to your home troop, you've got all this experience, whereas it's not just a bunch of information that you have to figure out where to use it and how it works. So I'd say that's the biggest difference between a classroom leadership program and this outdoor wood skills oriented program.